Yo, what is up, people of the internet? Mike here with my newest build in Path of Exile. It's a support-ish character that uses Glacial Cascade. So I've been wanting to make a support build for a while now, and I think I've finally done it. But when I started making this, I had this crazy idea that we're gonna use Glacial Cascade to contribute some damage, and we were gonna use Ice Nova Ice Nova with the curse on hit to curse all the enemies, because you can get crazy range on that. And it was just an idea to begin with. So I thought my contribution to the party would be basically the curse, right? So that was gonna make up for my lack of damage. Turns out we're actually among the highest damage in the group. I had no idea this build was gonna do as much damage as it's doing, but yeah, what can you do, man? So it turns out we're now a support carry character. Yay. We're using Arctic armor as our only defense, actually, besides having cap rest and a mediocre life pool. I want to go over my gear real quick with you guys. And like I mentioned before, Arctic armor is pretty much our only defense, right? So it's really important that it's high level. What I did was I got myself a pair of gold worm because of the mana regen. It's really necessary. And I got one to all socket gems. It's fairly cheap to get these boots, actually, because there's so many of them and people just corrupt them for whatever reasons. What I did was I put Herald of Ice in there, because I'm running 3 auras total, right? And then 1 Herald. So I put the Herald of Ice in there, level 21, it gets a 1 from the boots, and then in power, level 4, which also gets +1 from the boots, so it ends up being a level 26 Herald of Ice. Same thing goes for Arctic armor. So level 26 Arctic armor with, I think it's called Devotion Industry, and Inner Force. So all the buff effect nodes, which really buffs this up. And then a reduced mana. Other than that, we have got just a Doriani's Invitation Belt. Cold damage in this case is even though we have more fire damage, if you look at the skill, we're doing significantly more fire damage than we're doing cold damage. But it's only because all the cold damage turns into also being fire damage. Unfortunately, we can't get like cold damage and fire leech. That would be awesome, right? But whatever. The gloves, really cheap. Just get 15 cast speed on these gloves and you'll be fine. Yeah, really cheap gloves. The weapon, Pledge of Hands with 6 sockets. You don't have to have 6 sockets. You would have to drop either concentrated effect or increased area of effect. I used increased area of effect with a 5 link instead of concentrated, just because it was better for clearing maps. And once I had the currency to 6 link it, I did it. But yeah, it's Glacial Cascade, increased area of effect, cold to fire, for obvious reasons, right? Arctic armor, so we don't one-shot ourselves on reflect. Concentrated effects, added chaos damage and faster casting. Helmet, we're using Alpha Sal because look at our mana, right? So, and we don't have enough points in the tree to pick up more mana reserved. So that explains. What are we doing here? Reduced mana, clarity, discipline, and purity of ice, which are all level 23. And purity of ice, for obvious reasons, right? Again, Arctic armor is taking care of the physical part of Glacial Cascade, and it's taking care of, I think, most of the fire. It can't deal with all the fire. That's just impossible. And then the cold, or the purity of ice to deal with the cold damage that we're dealing. Amulet, some spell damage, cast speed, life. Attributes, I found out I need it so I could save myself a dex node in the tree. It's really nice to get some attributes on there. And some ads are just like rarity and stuff. Since we're already wearing, gold worm for quantity, we have some rarity here. On the ring, we have some rarity. Basically, the rings need dex and just fill in your resistances and try to get some life. Mana is good too. But yeah, they're not too expensive, these rings. The amulet was, I think, like 1 exalt. And the rings, you can probably get both the rings for around an exalt. Last but not least, the armor. You may have noticed this is a 6-link carcass jack. And I was just trying to get some life. I'm not worried about the resistance or the energy shield / evasion here. So that's why I haven't really divined it yet or anything. So what we're doing is we're doing Ice Nova, which is level 22 and 44 quality. Curse on hits, just for obvious reasons. Increased area of effect, empower, elemental weakness level 23 44, and enhanced level 4. So as you can see here, oops, wrong button. Our Ice Nova is a pretty big deal. Like, go into a room, hit it Q once, and everything is cursed up. And if you do the math, right? So 59% elemental resistances are removed from the monsters. On top of curse on hit, which is 10% increased effect of supported curses. It's pretty easy math. That's 5.9, which is 6. So it's around 65% of their resistances are removed. So that's the support part of the build. And also we do some conduit with Enduring Cry. I did Spell Echo, Enduring Cry. We have some faster attacks and Leap Slam, so we can get around. I want to go over the passive skill tree real quick with you guys. I'm not going to go too in depth with it. I'm going to leave the link for the passive tree below the video, but I'm just going to go over some importance of the tree, which is notes like these. Usually these would be a waste of points, especially if you're going crit, but I felt like we need the chance to freeze, considering Glacial Cascade hits as many times as it does. It's just really worth it to get all these chance to freeze nodes. Let's see, Eldritch Battery, of course, some hybrid nodes, life, whatever, hybrid, area nodes, the inner force and devotion with the buffs. Now these nodes, usually you don't see people pick up these nodes, but we don't have any reduced mana reserve nodes in the tree. So instead of using 6 points to get up here, we instead used 3 points to get this, and this down here. So in total, 15% reduced mana cost of skills and 27% increased mana. So it's just enough for us not to go gray. I think with Arctic armor on, we can cast it. No, actually, we fixed it. So we never run out of mana while casting, which is really important, and that's why we picked up these nodes. Let's see our mana regen. It's 418 mana regenerated per second. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this build, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.